Does debt have you under the knife? Do you feel like you're trapped by the weight of your debt, that the weapon is pushing against your jugular? You feel like you're trapped, you're in debt. I have a solution for you. In this video, we're going to talk about how to slash your debt. And as you pay down the debt, it'll snowball and get even faster. You'll pay down the debt even faster. It's how people pay off $30,000, $40,000 loans in like 10 months. It's how I was able to do the exact same thing because I started to snowball. In month 1 and month 2, you don't see the same progress that you see in months 9 and months 10 as you start to really get that snowball rolling and really paying down that debt. Debt is like a weapon. It's a tool. In the wrong hands, used improperly, it's very deadly. It will cripple your personal finances. But if you use debt effectively to buy cash flowing businesses and assets and real estate, you can generate a ton of income. I'm not going to focus on the income side in this video. I'm going to talk today specifically, how do you get out of debt? How do you pay off your debt quickly? We're going to talk about the debt repayment snowball strategy. I don't think I've ever released this on the channel before, so this is the first time. I'm going to give you an acronym because I love acronyms. People who are new to my channel, welcome to my channel. We're 250 subscribers and growing. My last video about frugality and retiring early has really started to take off, and so I'm going to do more videos in that area specifically. A lot of the feedback I've been getting is, Mike, you're able to get through school. I got through a 4-year university degree debt-free. How did you get through school debt-free, Mike? How did you pay off all of the lines of credits, all that money you borrowed to buy that real estate? Turns out I'm kind of an expert at debt repayment, and I didn't even realize it. It was simple, good habits that can help you get out of debt. But if you're struggling right now, if you feel like you're under the knife with debt, you've got a lot of credit card debt, you've got student loans racked up, you got car loans, you've got all the different types of debts, you got loans to friends and family, everyone under the sun, this video is going to help you a ton. Maybe you just have a little bit of credit card debt, you're carrying a couple grand in credit card debt, and you're paying the minimum payments, this video is for you too. No matter what, I know you have some debt, probably some bad debt. And I'm going to talk specifically today about bad debt repayment. So, okay, you've been waiting long enough. I'm going to get right to the meat and the potatoes about the extremely fast snowball debt repayment, how you slash that debt super quick. So I'm going to give you the acronym, RCO. This is what I always say to people when they ask me, what do I do, Mike? I'm in this situation. I'm in over my head. The minimum payments are going to take me 60 years to pay off this debt. It's not working. I need to accelerate and snowball. This is what you do. So in simple terms, R stands for renegotiate. So you call all of your credit providers and you renegotiate the terms of the agreement, of the credit agreement you have with them. You can negotiate a better interest rate on your credit card in most times. Even if you're behind, you could say, hey, look, I haven't made any payments on this card in 6 months. It's going to go into collections, guys, but I'm willing to work with you to make a payment plan. Can we agree to drop the interest rate from 22% down to 15%? And in most cases, the credit card companies will accept that. Additionally, you could apply for additional credit and then consolidate, right? R is for renegotiate. If they won't renegotiate, you can always consolidate. So consolidating debt is basically taking debt that's at a high interest rate, like credit card debt at 18, 19, 20%, maybe car loan debt at 12%, and throwing it against, for instance, a mortgage on an asset like a business. You can throw it against your business, secure it against real estate, secure it against something so you can get your interest rate way down. So let's say you have a home equity line of credit at 5%, throw the 20% interest debt onto the home equity line of credit. So pay off all of the other debt with a cheaper form of debt. So basically you've consolidated all the debt into one place and then you can tackle that debt and really destroy it. With the snowball, what you want to do is pick your highest interest debt first, your car loans at 12%, maybe even you have some payday money loans, pay those off immediately in priority based on the interest rate. So you order all of your debts, write down all the debt that you owe, and pay off ideally the smaller balances that are tied to the highest interest rates, typically payday money loans, typically credit card interest debt, all of that bad debt that was used to buy stuff, buy things that don't produce cash flow and pay the debt for you. So you want to pay those off really quick. You want to focus on slashing that debt first. What will end up happening is if you bring $1,000 a month, let's say, you could scrape together $500 or $1,000 towards just paying that one debt first, that high interest debt. What you'll find is that as you pay down that debt, that $1,000 a month going towards that credit card, once that one's paid down, you move on to the next debt item. Let's say it was a money loan first, then you go down to your credit card debt on your highest interest rate credit card and you start paying that one down first. When you pay that down, you're going to find you don't have any of the interest payments associated with that payday money loan or that other high interest credit card you just paid off. So now that $1,000, let's say half of it was interest payment and half of it was paying down the actual debt. Now you've got a whole $1,000 going towards this new loan that you're paying down, this new debt that you're paying down. So really, really important to do that. The RCO is renegotiate, consolidate. So take that high interest debt. If you got credit card debt right now, get student loan debt at 10, 12%. Maybe you have some room available on your home equity line of credit. Maybe you got some equity in your home. Go get an equity line of credit on your home and pay off all of that bad debt at 20% and basically move the debt into an unsecured line of credit. Maybe you go apply at a bank and get an unsecured line of credit for $25,000. Then basically pay off all that high interest debt. Basically, you're moving that high interest debt to lower interest debt with more manageable interest payments. And so that $1,000 you're putting towards this new consolidated debt, a lot more of it's going towards repaying the debt principal and not to the interest. Because what ends up happening is with a credit card, when you make minimum payments, you're actually paying down almost none of the balance. Let's say you're making a $100 minimum payment on a credit card. In most situations, you're actually really just paying like $95 in interest and $5 towards principal. So you're not really paying down the debt. But if you were to consolidate that into a lower interest rate, unsecured line of credit at a bank, or maybe it's secured line of credit against your car, against your house, against some sort of asset for collateral, what you'll find is they'll give you a much better interest rate. And then you can start tackling that debt. You can pay that debt off much, much faster because that $1,000 payment, instead of being $995 to interest, is going maybe $150 to interest and $850 towards mortgage repay down. And the faster you pay it down, so in month one, you put $850, let's say, of that $1,000 payment goes towards repaying the debt. In month two, instead of the interest being $150, it's now $130 of that $1,000. So what happens is your actual payment on the debt, more and more of it goes towards principal. In the same way it works on a mortgage with an amortization table, where in the beginning of your mortgage payments say $1,000 a month. What typically is happening is $600 is going towards interest and $400 is towards principal. And as you pay that down, what you will find is that more and more of it goes towards repaying the debt, the mortgage principal, instead of the mortgage interest, which just goes to the bank. It snowballs. It gets faster and faster. The same $1,000 payment has more and more potency to paying off your debt. That's why they call it the debt snowball strategy. And of course, RCO, renegotiate your rates, refinance. If you have a mortgage at a high interest rate, refinance that. If you have a car loan at 12%, go to the bank and refinance that, especially as you start paying down your debt. That looks really good to your credit score. I got tons of really good videos, by the way, guys, on the credit score. I talk about the actual algorithm you can use to understand how the credit score is calculated, which will help you get cheaper interest rates on the debt that you have and help you renegotiate and consolidate that debt. But as you start paying that down, it's going to be a really good sign to the bank. They're going to be more likely to give you better credit terms and help you pay that down even faster. But O stands for obliterate. You renegotiate, consolidate, and then you obliterate that debt. You go hard. You go balls to the wall on that debt. It's going to be hard. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy. If you're held up under the knife, what do you have to do? Whatever it takes to get out from underneath it. Whatever it takes to get out from underneath that debt, you need to focus on maybe picking up a part-time job or an extra side hustle. Maybe you know how to play guitar. Teach guitar on the side. Maybe you know how to start some sort of business. You have some skill. I know you have some skill. Everyone has a skill or a talent that they can cultivate to make a little bit of extra money and help them pay down that debt. Maybe you can make $200 more a month from teaching piano. Don't go and spend that money. Invest that money in yourself. Pay down your debt, right? Pay that debt down. So that's what this video is about, is getting you from underneath the debt. You're going to have to get a job. It's going to be a little bit difficult. You're going to have to work. If you're not working right now and you got a lot of debt, you've got to go pick up a job somewhere, and it's going to be painful. You know, I worked at Tim Hortons, which is for minimum wage, for 3 years. You know, when I was going through school, I was always working. I didn't use the excuse that I'm in school full time, so I can't have a job. I found a way to earn the money, and then I saved that money. You can't be spending all of what you're earning. You've got to cut back the lifestyle. There's probably a reason you're in that debt. And it might be because you're living paycheck to paycheck and an emergency popped up, like your pet got sick or had a health issue. But more likely than not, it was choices that got you there. And so you either need to increase your income so you can afford to live the lifestyle you want to live, or you need to find a way to live that lifestyle you desire for less. And I talk a lot about that in my videos about frugal lifestyle hacks, like getting your groceries for half price. How do you renegotiate your interest rate on your mortgage to get it down? How do you negotiate your insurance rates down? How do you, for instance, find a way to get a car for $3,000 paid in cash that you can drive that's reliable and good on gas instead of buying that brand new vehicle? How do you figure out a way to hack all of the things in your life and get them for less? Get the same value for less. How do you rent hack? How do you rent a place out and live rent free? Maybe you get some roommates. Maybe you Airbnb a spare room in your property. Maybe you find a property that has a nanny suite that you can rent that house and then re-rent and sublet the lower portion out. Maybe you buy a house that's a duplex and you house hack. There are so many creative solutions. What you need to ask yourself is not, a lot of people say, how could I do this? There's no way, and they ask it in a rhetorical sense. What I'm saying is ask openly and say, how could I change my current living situation to better my financial future? What could I do? So instead of saying, I can't lower my grocery budget, that's it. I'm eating as frugally as I can. Instead, you should look at it and say, truly, honestly, what am I buying here that I could buy for a better deal? Could I start price matching? Could I start flyer shopping? Could I even order online, get it picked up, drive up to the Walmart pickup spot and have them load it in my car, all price matched? And then I won't buy anything while I'm walking through the aisles. It's little hacks like that that will save you hundreds and thousands of dollars over the course of your life. A lot of it is endless, needless consumption. This is actually a gift. I wouldn't even have bought this spider dagger here, but it was a gift. And so it's this kind of stuff. Stop buying things you don't need, especially if you're not in a financial position to afford them. You've got to say, your buddies are going out to the pub. You say, let's drink at home, guys. Let's have an at-home movie night with our buddies. Let's go for a hike in the trails. Let's go for a bike ride to work instead of driving there. Let's find a frugal way to do something. And those little frugal choices add up to a huge amount of money you can then use to snowball and pay down your debt. So I hope this video added some value for you guys. There's going to be a second video coming up, even better than this one, using this same prop here, where we're going to talk about how debt is actually a good thing. And debt in the wrong hands, used for the wrong purposes to buy the wrong things is bad. But if you can understand your relationship with debt, and you can use this debt weapon or debt as a tool instead of a negative thing, you can use it to buy cash flowing producing assets, then you'll be way better off. That's the next video coming up. So I'm really excited to unveil that next Saturday. Thank you so much. If you're new to the channel, I would love it if you hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and of course, jump in the comments and let me know frugal tricks that you've used. Have you paid down your student loan debt? Have you paid down some credit card debt? What kind of debt do you have, and what strategies are you using to pay down that debt as quickly as humanly possible? And then if you are using debt for good things, to buy real estate and cash flowing assets, and you're borrowing at 3-4%, cheap, good debt, let me know about that too, because I'm a big fan of that. I borrowed a lot of money, millions of dollars, to buy real estate, but I did it for the right reasons and with the right intentions behind it to buy the right things. And that's the key thing. At the end of the day, to unlock a wealthier you and unlock a better financial future for yourself, you need to spend less, earn more, and then maximize your returns. Those are the three levers at your disposal. You can everyone just wants to earn more. No one's talking about spending less. No one's talking about how to maximize their returns. You need to couple all three strategies together. That's how you retire in 5 years, in your 20s, in your 30s. If you're 20 years old right now, you can retire at 25. I did. You can do it too. Maybe you're 35 years old right now and you want to be done by the time you hit 40. Start watching these videos. Start putting this stuff into practice. Start obliterating your debt and start building your financial future. Thank you so much for watching this video. Mike Rosehart here, and I'm just so glad to have you on the channel. I look forward to seeing you on the Wise Wealth Show every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, about an hour and a half long. You can ask me anything, so bring your questions there, and I'll see you guys in the comments. Bye.